Hello, and welcome back to RNC Adventures. I'm Christy.
And I'm Ricky, and we're here to give you another exciting episode. So, a little while back we did a video of the crazy things sighted people say, and today we're going to talk about some of the awkward, crazy, funny things that Christy and I have done as blind and visually impaired people. Perhaps some of you can relate, some of you may not be able to, but it's fun every once in a while to laugh at yourself. And one of the things we always run into is people always, especially the sighted folks, is, when is the appropriate time to laugh? When is it not? And for Christy and I, it's, if you can't laugh at yourself, then, there's something wrong with you. And either you can laugh about it or cry about it, right, Christy?
Pretty much, yeah.
So, why don't you get us started with one of the tall tales of Christy?
So I got ready for work one day. I had got my bag ready after work. I was training for a some sort of run. I don't remember.
Probably a half or
probably a half. And our youngest had mixed up a couple of different pairs of running shoes I had. So I got two running after work and pulled out shoes, and my guide said, is that the new style, wearing a pink and a purple, a pink and an orange shoe? I believe that's what color I was wearing at the time. I had a set of pink and a pair of orange. So luckily my guide
were they both lefts and rights, or
they were one of each.
Well, okay, well, you got lucky there.
Luckily my guide wore the same size shoe as me, and she had an extra pair, so I didn't actually have to go run in those, but it was still pretty embarrassing to have two different shoes, thanks to our youngest who had mixed them up.
And for me, I would have wore them anyway. But what two drastically different colors, right?
Hot pink and hot orange. Bright orange, yeah.
Right. All right, so for me, my first one I'm going to talk about, we have, as you've seen on our Way Around app, we have some of most of our canned foods, marked with a magnetic little marker that we read and use to organize our kitchen cabinets. And so one night I was getting ready to cook my famous chili. Very big on my chili. Kind of look at it weirdly as it's not just cooking. It's
traditional.
A tradition. Yeah, it's serious. I don't just cook chili. It's inspirational chili.
You have to have the right things to.
Right, like for instance, I have to have a beer. It's just I can't not cook chili without having a beer, and I have to use a wooden spoon. These are just things that I've always used, always will use, and there's no sense of doing chili if you don't have those things.
And
so
I think that's what went wrong that night. You didn't have a beer.
Maybe it was. I can't remember. Maybe that's a good example why I shouldn't. Or maybe I had too many beers. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, we're getting all the stuff out we need to all my beans, my black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, etc. Getting ready to get everything good and started, and start opening the cans, dumping them in, and I got stirring. I was like, wait a minute, the texture's not right here. Something's wrong. And about that time, my daughter walked in and she said, why are there orange things in the chili? I said, what do you mean orange things? She goes, there's some big old chunks of orange stuff in the chili. And I said, get one out and let me see what it is. Turns out I had opened a can of carrots and put those in the chili and pretty much ruined the entire meal with carrot chili. And so I don't know what happened that night. Like I said, we had the labels on there, but I think what had happened is the label had gotten mixed up, and put on the wrong can, or it had magnetized from one can to another. I don't know what happened, but boy, that was a big mix-up for me. And my awesome chili went to hell in the handbasket that night. So, all right, you got another one?
Yeah, we walk a lot downtown, and we're walking, and I was still getting used to being in a big city. This was shortly after I had moved from my one traffic light town, and we were going around a corner, and I told Ricky, I was like, okay, excuse me, we're gonna go around this person. And it turned out I thought it was a person in a wheelchair. And it was actually, we went really wide because I didn't know if they were getting ready to back up or what they were doing. And then it turned out it was like a newspaper stand or something. And I was like, I felt so embarrassed because, I was still getting to know Ricky, and here I was taking him around a newspaper stand. So I was pretty embarrassed.
It was a smelly person in a wheelchair, that's for sure. All right. So yeah, going with the downtown theme, I was downtown with a couple of buddies of mine. I can't remember who all was with me. It might have been my brother and a couple of friends, but anyway, Christy wasn't with me, and we were walking, and I was doing sighted guide, and we stopped at a corner, and my friend had stepped away from me. He was guiding me. He stepped away to get something out of, I think it was one of those free, what's going on around town, little magazine things. And somebody else, a big old stranger, stepped in and took his spot, meaning that he kind of lined up with the corner like I was, right beside me. I thought it was my friend, and the light had just changed, so I grabbed the arm, and as the person was taking off, and he flipped around, "What are you doing?" right in the middle of the street. And I went, "What? You're not who I came with." And so my friend caught back up with him and goes, "Yeah, you might want to go with the person you came with, because otherwise you're going to get yourself in trouble." So yeah, that was very, very embarrassing, and there was no time whatsoever in the middle of the street to go, "I am so sorry, I'm blind and blah blah blah," because then I'd have to explain sighted guide. So my friend grabbed my hand, put it on his arm, and we just took off. So yeah, that was pretty embarrassing as well. That was since you and I had been together, but you weren't with me for whatever the reason. I don't remember where I was or what I was doing. Anyway, pretty embarrassing nonetheless. All right, you got another one?
I guess one of the things for me is not having central vision is walking down the street, and this may have been what kind of coaxed me into or made me decide I really should get a cane. Was I would be walking down the street, and things just started, or people, I guess is really what it was. To me, it was just things, would pop out of that blind spot flying past, and it was pretty scary to all of a sudden something just be there, and you're not sure what it is, if it's a person, if it's, something fixing to run into or what. And so you just walking down the street in your normal pace and just suddenly come to a stop. I actually had somebody almost trip over me behind me. This was, before I would use a cane, because of it. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm just freaking people out because I'm stopping in the middle of the street or sidewalk. It's like, "Did you not see that thing just fly out of nowhere?" And they're like, "Okay, what are you on?"
I call them the Christy stop and goes.
So
She just jerks stop. I'm like, "What?"
See, now that I use a cane, it's not, I mean, it still looks funny, I'm sure, to some people if they're paying attention to my sudden stops and goes. I'm stopped because of shadows, but I don't think it's as noticeable unless somebody's walking with me.
Well, it's so if you with your stop and goes, I got that leads into the story. It's kind of has to do with both of us, but Christy and I were walking to the bus stop from the mall, and on you know what I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So on the side of the street next to the mall, there's not a sidewalk going to the bus stop. It's a big old turning lane. A shoulder and then a turning lane, big old shoulder, and so we're walking down through there towards the bus stop, and all of a sudden, Christy disappears. Just poof, drops, gone. Just bam. And I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened? I'm okay. Hang on, I'll be right there. The next coming from to the left of me and down, and I'm like, what are you doing down there? And what happened is, on the shoulder, to the side of the shoulder is a big old huge ditch, and Christy just stepped one wrong way.
It was muddy that day.
Yeah, and she was gone. She just poof, like a drop door had come and sucked her through.
That happened more than once.
And yeah, well, I was going to tell that, but it, you know, at first I thought she was doing that stop and go crap, but literally she was gone. Like there was no stop and her arm's still there. It was poof and she was gone.
That's pretty embarrassing too, to just be somebody's halfway sighted guide and then just disappear on them. It's like, oh, sorry. My bad.
Always carry a cane folded up or whatever if you're going inside a guide in case your guide disappears.
Yeah. Don't ever go unprepared.
Right. Another one I can think of is I am a pretty efficient person around my house for sure. At least I should be. We've lived in this apartment for going on 8 years now, and I do this over and over and over again. But I'll be walking from the dining room into the kitchen, and the kitchen door has been there, the same place. Nobody's moved it, nothing. And I will get going with my plate in my hand, and I will hit the wall. If it's a styrofoam plate, it crushes. If it's a regular plate, it of course flips and comes down on me. And it's just, you're just like, who put that wall there? Like that. Or I've came from the kitchen going around the hallway, or going into the hallway to our bedroom, and I've cut the corner way too short, and bam, just right there. And the time that I did it was the time that we had a full house full of people. I went around that corner and bam! And it was a Christmas party, if I remember correct. It was like, who moved the wall? Stop moving the wall, I'm the blind guy. So I'm starting to figure out that certain times, perhaps I should still keep my bumper out in front of me as I'm walking around corners. I think that's just something I probably should do from time to time. What else you got?
You have a couple more.
I do.
I know I caught that wall a couple of times. A few months back.
But you've got to tell the story about how you yelled for our daughter and she was right there. And you didn't even know she was...
my goodness. Yeah, I was yelling, heading towards our daughter's room. And as I was walking to her room, I don't even know what I was yelling to her. Something about some chore she needed to do. And I literally
at first.
Stopped at the hallway before I went to turn to the hallway into her room. And I stopped and slightly moved to where the hallway was visible, and she was standing there, and I was just like in complete shock. And she goes,
"What? That a teenager listened to
you? Had no idea I was standing here, did you?" And I said, "No, I had no idea you were standing there."
Scared you to death.
I would have ran you over if I wouldn't have stopped talking.
And then there's those times where you've walked toward her, or yelled for her, and she goes, "Yeah," and she's right beside you, and you're like, "Whoa!" Wait.
And you've had those moments.
I have too.
And you're like, "Oh," and we're like, "Yep," and you're like, "Oh."
It's like that commercial or whatever it was where the guy yelled, and she goes, "Yeah," and he, "Whoa!" But yeah, so that's the opposite, I think, of, every blind, visually impaired person, I'm sure, totally blind person, I'm sure, has dealt with, the disappearing sighted person that starts talking to you, and then all of a sudden they just turn around and walk away, and you're still talking to them. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the opposite of that. All right, so I have a couple more. One of the ones that I have is I do a lot of public speaking and different things. Was presenting the closing session at our adaptive sports conference that we host every year here in Tennessee, and I was doing the closing remarks, and I'm a mover. I just move all around, hands flaring. I'm just a big talker and moving around. Believe clear that when I speak that I should kind of move with the audience, kind of get in front of different people, not just be stable. So I'm standing there and I'm talking and I'm just going on and on and on, and all of a sudden Christy comes up and she gets my arm and she goes, "You're facing the wrong way." She whispers to me, "I'm facing the wrong way." And she turns me around completely 180 all the way back around. I was talking to the entire crowd with my back to the crowd. And most of the people in the room were blind and visually impaired as well, but there was some sighted people, and I'm just thinking, at the time I think I was the executive director, and I was the leader, and I was the person over in charge of the conference, and it was just like, oh, how embarrassing. I mean, a whole room full of people. There had to be at least 50 people in that room, and I was turned backwards talking to them. But the most funniest thing I can think of currently, and I'm sure there's plenty more for me, but we gotta start writing these things down, I think. But so one day, I'm getting ready to leave to go out down to the store, somewhere down the street. I don't remember where, and I was just gonna go by myself, make a quick trip. I was trying to hurry, as I always do when it's time to leave, get out the door and go. So I might have been heading towards the bus. But anyway, so I call for my guide dog. Got the harness. Dog sleeps her head through the harness. Finish buckling the belly strap on the harness. Put the leash on the ring. Head out the door. Tell the dog left to go down the sidewalk to the end of the sidewalk. Tell the dog to the right. She stopped at the curb. I said, "Good girl, good girl," and I gave her a pat. I was like, wait a minute, something's not right. And I started realizing that I had harnessed Aslan instead of Alice, and I had put the harness on the wrong dog. And that walk of shame for 20 feet from the end of the sidewalk back to the front door in the house, and Christy goes, "What are you back for?" And I go, "I harnessed the wrong dog."
Well, that just shows how much he wanted to work. He let you do it.
And the problem, folks, is this. Aslan is taller than Alice. He's thinner than Alice.
And their heads are so much different.
Their heads are different. Their hair
Yeah.
is different. But the thing that should have gave it away was that he has, what's his collar called? I always call it the pajama collar, but it has a cloth piece on the back side, and then it has the pull chain on the front with a actual round ring.
Yeah,
Alice
she has the fish
has
tail.
a fishtail slip collar. There should have been no way that I mistaked the dogs. But by God, I did. And I was so embarrassed, and I'm so thankful that the only person I had to do the walk of shame back to was Christy, but Lord. So then Christy, of course, has to tell everything she knows and goes and tells everybody, Ricky harnessed the wrong dog, Ricky harnessed the wrong dog. Let me tell you what Ricky did. Ricky harnessed the wrong dog. It was just so then I got even more embarrassed. And to this day, I still have people telling me about harnessing the wrong dog. So you better believe now, when I get ready to leave, I'm paying more attention to which dog I'm leaving with. So, you got any more?
I think we should leave it on that
Let's
note.
leave on that note. Great. I could just leave with something else you did. No. All right, folks. So, what do you think about what embarrassing moments have you had? We had somebody who gave us a story that was actually about a sighted person who had told them directions and it ended up being all wrong. But what are some things that you've done as a blind or visually impaired that was rather embarrassing? Hopefully nothing as much as I have, but perhaps so. Leave it down in the comments section below. Email us at, give them the email so I don't mess it up.
rncadventures1@gmail.com.
Yeah. Send us an email with your story in it. We'd love to share it on a future video. If you're okay with that. We'd all like to, hear about it and laugh about a few other folks because chances are we've done it. I've got a friend that I went to guide dog school that on the next video I'm definitely telling her story. If she's watching, she knows exactly who she is. But
and I've done stuff similar, so
smoke and mirror. Anyway, but also I'd like to announce a giveaway that we're going to do. So if you stayed this long in the video, here's the giveaway. What we're going to do is our goal is to reach 100 subscribers before the end of June. But what we're going to do is for the next 25 subscribers to our channel, we are going to enter your name into a drawing, and we're going to give you a $20 gift card. Something maybe like a Visa prepaid card that you can use on whatever you want to use it on. And we will mail that to you. We'll have you just when you subscribe and watch a video of ours.
subscribe, like it, and comment.
Yeah, okay. 3 requirements. Subscribe, like it, and comment. And when you comment, put in the comment, I just, something to subscribed, and then we will take those names, put them in a hat. We'll do it on a video, I guess, and we'll shake them up once we get 25 more subscribers, and we will draw out the winner and announce that, and then that person can email us with their home address, and we will mail you your prize. So if you have already subscribed, tell your friend. Maybe they'll share $10 with you. If you can go half and half. Tell your friends to subscribe and like and comment. All right. So we hope you enjoyed the video. Anything else before we sign off?
I don't think so. Keep loving life to its fullest.
Keep loving and living to the fullest. Take care, everybody.